Normally before the police charge someone with murder and before the prosecution goes ahead with the case, they like to find a motive. Just having some evidence isn't always enough to convince the jury. It has to fit, it has to make sense as to why the murder occurred and why the so-called murderer did it. In David Bain they never had anything at all like that. David was well adjusted. He was going out regularly each week with opera meetings and tramping and triathlons and things like this. David's father, Robin Bain, by comparison, was in a very bad space. He was totally estranged from his wife, Margaret. This was very painful and humiliating to him as a Christian man. He was wanting to reconciliate, but nothing he was doing was making any difference. In fact, probably making things worse. He was living in a squalid little caravan. He had educational complaints made against him at the school where he was teaching. But most significantly, there were 7 corroborating accounts given by different people about how Robin Bain was having an affair with his daughter Laniette, and how Laniette was going home to sort things out the very weekend of the murders. And the first of these people to come forward to the police was Dean Cottle. But when it came time to give evidence, Dean Cottle was handled really, really badly by the court system, and he was seriously concerned about the impact that his evidence was going to have on his personal life and on his potential married life. And so he was handled badly by the courts, and in the end they chose not to accept his evidence. But more alarming than that is that after Joe Karam's first book, David and Goliath, where Joe Karam printed the police evidence, namely a statement by the police in the first trial saying that there was no corroborating evidence to Dean Cottle's evidence that Laniette was having an affair with her father, the dairy owners that were across the road from Laniette Bain came forward and said they knew the police were lying because they had been to the police and told the police that Laniette had told them directly that her father was having an affair with her. This was just one of a long line of police lies in this case, and any one of the lies that you'll read about or hear about on the videos and my books should have had the case thrown out immediately and compensation awarded to David Bain, because there has to be a point in legal law and in legal cases, just like there is in sport, when one side plays so foul that the game cannot continue. So this video is also a call to action by the police and by those in charge of the justice system to get off your backsides and immediately prosecute those police who are clearly and obviously guilty of perjury, destruction of evidence and suppression of evidence in this case. Going back to motive and the type of space that Robin was in prior to the murders in the Bain household, let's just take a look at what was actually being read by Robin at the time. When police went into his caravan after the murders, they found 2 murder novels. One of them was called Death at the Dolphin, and the other was a story in an Agatha Christie book called Death Comes at the End. It's hard to believe the police case that Robin wouldn't have known where the rifle was if he was the one that taught David how to shoot the rifle, if he was the one that had David's cartridge cases in his caravan, and especially if David kept the key to his rifle in a porcelain jar on his desk.